Anxiety refutation speech. Written in the Bible in Proverbs 18:17 of the New Living Translation, there is a proverb that says, "The first to speak in court sounds right until the cross-examination begins." In a previous speech, I spoke on anxiety. I informed you of the causes, symptoms, and coping mechanisms on dealing with anxiety on a regular basis. When speaking on the informative aspect, it seems pretty cut and dry. But what happens when the cross-examination begins? What happens when differing opinions are expressed and the illness is not looked at the same, or maybe not looked at like an illness at all? Over the next few minutes, I would like to touch on some of the refutable arguments one may have concerning anxiety and why my beliefs may differ from theirs. I would like to begin by stating a quote from authors Goanza Cristina Maria et.al., who wrote in a peer-reviewed academic journal titled Anxiety Dizziness, that says, quote, "Anxiety disorders are the most common form of mental illness in the USA, affecting more than 40 million adults older than 18 years of age," unquote. This is a true illness, and let me tell you why. The first, and I believe the most common argument I hear, is that anxiety is not a real illness. My refute against that is very simple. If you look the word illness described by Merriam-Webster Dictionary, it is simply stated, quote, "an unhealthy condition of the body or mind," unquote. Anxiety comes from our sensations and thoughts which stem from the frontal lobe, or also called the cognitive brain. The second most common argument I have heard is that anxiety does not need to be treated professionally. Whether you choose treatment from prescribed medication, cognitive therapy, or support-based counseling, anxiety needs to be taken very seriously and treated earlier rather than later. According to an article in Health Central by Eileen Bailey, she writes that, quote, "untreated anxiety can lead to other mental disorders such as depression or substance abuse. People with anxiety, especially when not properly treated, have a higher risk of suicide or self-harm behaviors," unquote. In a peer-reviewed article in the selected abstracts of the 26th Annual Conference of the Anxiety Disorders Association of America, Cindy J. Arison et.al. wrote, after conducting research, that, quote, "results suggest anxiety may play a role in the predicting suicidal ideation in clinic-referred youth." And thirdly, many times I have heard it said that the symptoms to anxiety are not real, and that many times the symptoms are just worked up in one's mind. Our human minds are very powerful. We can walk down a dark hallway and convince ourselves that we are being followed. As a child, I woke up many times convincing myself that there were monsters under the bed. And at that moment, it was very real. If the monsters were not real, the fear very much was. And so much fear and anxiousness can cause physical and mental problems, which goes back to reiterate my first thought, that an illness is an unhealthy condition of the body and mind. Gail Christopher and Oliver Davidson wrote in their peer-reviewed article on generalized anxiety disorder, stating that, quote, "long-term follow-up studies suggest that generalized anxiety disorder is a condition that worsens the prognosis for any other condition," unquote. The symptoms are real. The illness is real. The avalanche that it can cause, if not treated, is real. In conclusion, anxiety can also be described as the same as illness in the dictionary, an unhealthy state that causes unhealthy conditions to your health. With those facts, I can stand here confidently today, state my claim that anxiety is a real illness. I ask you that the next time the cross-examinations begin, to please remember these facts you have heard today and boldly state your claim with mine. Thank you.